welcome everybody to the next episode of KapVista Klips. I'm here with Liam from Quantmatix. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. It's a pleasure to be on.
Yeah, it's great to chat to you. So, where are you at the moment? You just mentioned that you're on a holiday.
Yes, well, as you know, we've tried to arrange this call several times. So I'm actually on a ski holiday in Austria, sneaking off after dinner to the restaurant, which is why the lighting isn't terribly attractive. I could normally make a better background.
Well, that's what we do. We working remotely. We can get you while you're on a ski holiday, and find out a bit about you while you're between dinner and hitting the slopes.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Um, amazing, amazing. So I really wanted to get into who you are, your experience, the background of the team, how you all came together, and then what Quantmatix is. So tell me about you.
I suppose I've been around since God was a boy in the in the markets, right? So I've effectively been in markets for over 25 years, right? So I actually started off my career straight out of college. I was a portfolio manager. I was like managing pension fund money for some of the world's largest companies, the likes of Pfizer, Archer Daniels, Nestle, straight out of college, right? And really this journey that's led to this point has been kind of I want to say a windy road, but pretty consistent themes throughout it, right? So I was always a fundamental guy, right? But I got to hire my best friend from college, who was a technical analyst. So right from the get-go, 25 years ago, we married deep-rooted fundamental analysis with market timing techniques, and that led us to consistently outperform quarter on quarter, regardless. And I said, we're managing not the global pension fund, but like asset, allocations from these very large funds, and we consistently outperformed. I then, probably, and in those days, brokers got paid and portfolio managers didn't, right? So I succumbed to the dark side. So I spent about 20 odd years of my career as a stockbroker, working with ABN AMRO equities, heading the team in Dublin, being part of the European sales team. I then became head of research in a broker in Dublin called Marion Stockbrokers. Again, it was an uber fundamental shop. Like our job was to not publish research unless it moved the markets, and we really, our analyst team were top ranked. Went marketing to meet portfolio managers with spreadsheets with their P&L and cash flow analysis. Right, so it was really fundamental. Then I suppose what started off the journey here is, like, most of the world will know, Ireland went bust in the great financial crash in like 2010, 2011. And I got offered a pretty cool job as head of sales for State Street Global Markets Equity Research Team. And it was there that was like lifting the scales from my eyes, that for all of my career, I hadn't really appreciated that the world's largest institutions effectively behave like a cohort. And in their behavior, it takes them up to 6 months as a cohort to execute a trade, sort of going from underweight the banks to overweight the banks. So um, that was amazing, and it also was a journey where I realized at that point in time, though, that that the end of subjective research was nigh, right? So suddenly I realized that what we had was a data-driven analytics product. It changed the nature of my relationship with my clients from being a combative, I'm one of 26 guys changing my forecast in Vodafone whenever they announce their results, to having something which is data-driven, objective, and you've got to have a collaborative relationship with your clients. And it was instantly transformational. And I kind of understood from there that that was the future. Unfortunately, State Street closed us down. So I spent the last 10 years kind of trying to develop a product myself that probably did more and better. It sounds arrogant to say that, but what we have now actually is a product that does more than theirs and has a really strong track record. And, so again, just to cut to the chase, along the way, so what we've built with Quantmatix is like it's a global multi-asset market timing tool, effectively. And it's very good at idea generation, thematic ideas, macro ideas, right down to single stocks. And over the last few years, as we've been building it, showing it to people, the interface looks pretty cool. Everybody would say to us, if it's so good, why aren't you running money yourselves? And the answer now is the QM Star Fund has been launched as of last week. So now we are actually running money ourselves. There was a real money trial independently run by a UK regulated entity called Blackwell Global. And as a result, we now have our own, or in partnership with them, we are supplying them with the strategy. Um, our first actively managed fund.
Oh,
So that's
nice,
kind of
amazing.
a quick story. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in
So
terms of the team, sorry, I should just say, we've got a really experienced team. Like we don't have the biggest team in the world. There's actually 12 of us working on the project now. We've got 8 people in data science. Myself and Paul Chu, who's the co-founder, and John Mulligan, who was our first hire, who's now our like third founding partner. Between the three of us, we've got over 80 years of market experience. And so we've seen it from all sides. We've seen it from being portfolio managers. We've been servicing some of the world's largest institutions and hedge funds, both from a sales and research perspective, but also from Paul's perspective, where he's been actually handling the global, the relationships with the execution teams of these very large institutions. So we've been around, we've seen it, and from all directions, and really, as I said, collaborative rather than combative research is the way forward.
okay, amazing, amazing. So you've got a really strong team. You've built the technology. You've proved it works. You're now managing money in a partnership. What explain to me more about the platform, right? Who would use it and why would they use it?
So the use cases are very broad, right? So who would use it? So we are as already. I'll just talk you through the clients that we already have. So we've got two of the global top 10 tier one world's largest institutions who are actually using the platform, right? We've got some proprietary trading desks from some US banks who are using the platform to basically to identify and trade themes. We are servicing some of the world's most, anybody who is anyway au fait with markets would know the names of these hedge funds, where we are talking to some macro traders who are trading indices, sectors, single stocks. They're also trading currency and stuff. So the users, and where we have like decided to sort of to pivot our service to, is towards family offices and smaller institutions where we can build relationships, where we know that people are time poor, or, and time is people's like greatest asset, right? It's one thing that they're very short of all the time. I know from my own experience that most of the people I talk to, they are very good stock pickers. They do a huge amount of diligent fundamental research. But as one of my favorite quotes from a client said to me about 10 years ago, and it's stuck with me ever since: being early or late to a good idea is the same as being wrong. Right? And so we get told all the time that some of the clients that we talk to now, they are like derivative traders, or even if taking long-term views, they're saying they do all the research, but they get the timing wrong. You know, and what we do is we get the timing right, and we get the direction right. And in terms of just being able to add value to people, we're not substituting fundamental research. But if you have an idea, we can tell you the right time to execute it. And we can do that across all asset classes. And we've got a published track record as well as a theoretical statistical track record. And I could show you now the history of so we can, on our site, you can click a button, you can drag the slider back to 2009, and you can see on any portfolio that you like to construct yourself what the hit rate of our signals would have been. I don't know if that answers your question properly. In terms of the other types of users, I mean, we're also talking to we're talking to. I said we've got relationships that we are building now with a commodities fund who are specializing in, well, commodities, particularly metals and energy stocks. And again, we've been talking to them. We've actually built bespoke models for this particular company over the last couple of weeks to track some soft commodities for them. And we are talking to a couple of corporates, particularly about their exposure to FX. Right, so what our product does is it's very good over whatever time frame you like. So the hedge fund guys are much shorter term, but we do investment management, which is like time frames on a like 3 to 6 month view. Everybody says that they're taking 2 to 3 year long term time frame views, but essentially the long term time frame is built up of like lots of smaller time frames, right? Um, and we have a time frame which is effectively monthly for asset owners, or like for family offices who are genuinely taking very long term view. So, and again, a particular example, we had a positive signal in the S&P on the 1st of January 2023. Right? We actually have a negative signal, which is kind of interesting, at the end of December 2024. It's all to play for now, of course. So we are seeing, in terms of our evolving market view, we are seeing a switch out of growth into value. And again, in terms of our published track record, we've been saying to all of our users that we had seen positive developments in healthcare, utilities, metals and mining, energy, and that's spreading more broadly now. And European equities have been pretty, had been our preferred place to be over the last couple of months. We're seeing a rally in the US, and obviously one of the big things that we've said, because we cover global multi-asset, we've been watching, over the last few weeks, the beginning of a deterioration in our dollar scores. We're seeing signals to suggest that fixed income yields are going to fall. That's becoming much more widespread, and that's leading to a rally in emerging market stocks. So people say to us, who is our competitors? And we can talk about other, like fintech businesses, but essentially, there's very few people there's one system which can give you a view from oil to the dollar to McDonald's, who had results today. We published at the weekend that we had a positive top Quantmatix signal in McDonald's of 5%, despite the fact that they missed the numbers today. So I mean, our system is very good, and it's good because it's objective. It's objective timing tool, and I said it's not designed to substitute fundamental research. But if you have a view, it can tell you, it can tell you the time to implement your view. And if you're looking for an idea, the way our system works, because we have this huge amount of instruments in our database, we go from like indices to sectors to single stocks, that effectively we can see the tide turn before anybody else. So we have a track record basically of seeing shifts in the market 3 to 4 weeks before subjective analysts and the big brokers actually get around to publishing a research note. So usually we're the ones like jumping up and down saying, we said that a month ago, right? So subscribers to our system will know that we say this all the time. And again, we can, one click, you can go back and actually look at it, so that's the bit. Everything that we do is about being transparent. It's about being
Yeah.
transparent. It's about being collaborative. We've been around a long time, right? So we've been around enough to know that like bullshit doesn't sell. There's smart people are our clients, right? And there's the only reason why all of these large institutions, I said family offices, prop desks, and hedge funds are talking to us is because we have something that works, and that's we're pretty proud of having got to where we are now, and said we're excited to have got to the point where we're now interested in building relationships with you know with your clients, and to hopefully be able to like help people. In a way, what we are is an outsourced quantitative service. I said, we're not there to compete with anybody else. We're there to collaborate, help other people make better decisions,
Yeah.
improve your performance, and make money.
And that's probably the key takeaway, that you're not there to compete, you're there to collaborate. So you can become an addition to family offices and funds and institutions. They can use your platform, use your research to complement what they're already doing.
Exactly. I mean, it is entirely complementary. So, and I suppose there's two ways of looking at it. As I said, like you have your own idea, or you could have seen if you were a subscriber, or a user of our system, you would have seen that at the height of all of the press and media news about Robert Kennedy Jr., whatever, that we started to see that scores starting to turn positive in the US biotech and pharma stocks. You know, like 6 weeks later, this has become like a really powerful trend. We saw energy turn, we saw the metals and mining stocks. I mean, gold made new highs today, right? We've been beating the drum about this for the last 3 months, and anybody can go back and verify this independently. If you look at our LinkedIn posts, right, we have been posting commodity ideas for fun on LinkedIn to demonstrate we get signals in the metals, and then we get signals in them. We cover over 100 mining stocks around the world, right? So when you see one turn, that might be a fat finger, right? When you see them all turn at the same time, they said we just have a methodology that allows us see things that it's not that nobody else can see it, but nobody else does see it. And again, it sounds a bit, I wouldn't say arrogant to say it, but I spent last week in Miami at a big alternative investors conference, and I met a whole bunch of quant funds, and all of them were saying they had AI driven, tools. And then when you ask them, there is they had a black box, and they had a couple of guys who were making subjective decisions. I was able to take out my phone. Our system is available on mobile. It's available on your desktop. I was able to show them and said, this is where we get our signals. This is how we do. This is what the rules are. This is what happens. Do you have anything like that? Oh, no, 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 no. We don't have anything like that. So if there was somebody else who was doing it, we would know, right? But it is strange to say that currently we seem to have this pitch by ourselves. I mean, I don't think we're going to have it by ourselves forever, but we have now got a 3-year running head start. And it works so well that we now have our own fund, basically, or a partnership with Blackwell. We've developed a strategy. They are providing all of the expertise in terms of the regulation and stuff. So that we're proud of the technology, that we're the technology partner, basically. And that is, it's all about partnerships. I said collaborating with people to help people make better decisions. And I said the proof of the pudding is in the eating. At least it answers the question: if it's a good, why aren't you running money yourself? Now there are, and I think it's fair to say that we're having conversations um, with some large family offices, both in the US, also in Singapore and in Hong Kong, who we are talking to them about becoming subscribers for them to take seats, but they are also interested in potentially sort of they're renting or partnering with us so that they could allocate some capital and run the strategy that they can help choose. So that's one thing that we're very good at doing, is that somebody has particular constraints or exposure to a particular market. We have the capability with our data analytics team to be able to identify the stocks and the sectors and the instruments that work better over the time frame of the user. Again, it's about collaborating.
Yeah. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, but for anybody who's watching this episode, if you're interested in finding out more as and want to potentially test the system and have a look at more, please reach out to my team. We'll connect you through to Liam and his team, who can walk you through the system, who can walk you through their secret sauce, how it works, and get you onboarded, because I think this is a very powerful tool to collaborate with your existing toolkit. I think this is something that's very interesting, and it can help you along the way. So thank you very much, Liam, for jumping on. It was great
Thank
to
you,
chat
and
to you.
please get somebody come to quantmatix.com, log in, take a trial. We'll be only too delighted to show you how it works.
All
Thanks,
right,
Daniel.
perfect.
Thank you. Bye bye.